In May, during a Supreme Court hearing, India's Chief Justice lost his temper. While discussing youth who couldn't find employment, he reportedly compared them to cockroaches, people who turn to social media and activism to attack the system when they lack a job. But instead of standard outrage, the reaction from Gen Z was a literal embrace. They turned the insult into an identity, forming a digital movement they called the Cockroach Janta Party, or CJP. The numbers scaled faster than anyone anticipated. Within days, this party of insects gained more Instagram followers than the ruling BJP, eventually surpassing the accounts of nearly every established political organization in the country. By adopting the very label meant to dismiss them, millions of young people found a way to show just how many of them were feeling ignored by the people in power. This wasn't just about a comment in court. It was fueled by years of economic desperation, specifically a pattern of 60 different exam paper leaks over 7 years that have effectively frozen the careers of millions. When these students tried to protest in the streets, they were met with police batons and new digital laws designed to silence dissent. They were told their questions made them anti-national. And as this anger grew, the traditional political opposition seemed unable to speak to it. The established parties remained focused on old scripts, leaving a massive demographic with no one to represent their specific frustrations. All it took to ignite that environment was a single tweet from a graduate in Boston, jokingly asking what would happen if all the cockroaches actually came together. When young people feel they have no future in the economy and no voice in the legislature, they start looking for alternative ways to be heard. The government's usual tactics, coordinated social media campaigns, and friendly news coverage simply don't work here. You can't easily argue against a swarm of people wearing cockroach costumes or using AI to flood the internet with satire. The system's first instinct was to squash the bug. They suspended the CJP's primary Twitter handle, attempting to shut down the movement's central hub. But removing the head of the movement didn't kill it. It forced the movement to change its shape. Within 24 hours, dozens of new localized handles appeared, creating a network no longer dependent on a single account. The government learned that while it's simple to block a website, it is much harder to delete a decentralized idea once it has started to spread. There is an irony in the fact that this satirical movement has put forward more specific policy ideas than many of India's professional politicians. Their manifesto calls for structural changes, like banning post-retirement political jobs for chief justices and election commissioners, to ensure these institutions remain independent. They are also demanding the resignation of the education minister, arguing someone must be held responsible when national exams are repeatedly compromised. By asking these direct questions about how the country is run, the movement is taking on the role of an opposition that actually holds the system accountable. This isn't just an internet fad, it's a test of whether a democracy can still listen to its citizens. There is a historical pattern in this region. When a government aggressively blocks the ways people vent their frustration online, that energy doesn't just disappear. We saw this happen in Sri Lanka. When mass economic despair was met with silence and suppression, the public eventually stopped posting and started marching toward the capital. We saw it in Bangladesh too. When digital frustration is ignored or criminalized, it eventually finds a way into the physical world. If a government treats digital dissent only as something to be deleted, it removes the very mechanisms that allow people to express anger without resorting to more drastic measures. Young people are finding new ways to protest, like flooding politicians' online spaces with questions. It's a modern version of a picket line, adapted for a generation that lives on their phones. In many ways, this movement acts as a pressure valve. It allows people to channel their anger into a peaceful digital conversation, rather than letting it build up behind closed doors. The government now has a choice: engage with these voices and address the issues like exam leaks and unemployment, or continue to treat the symptoms by deleting accounts. The math for the system has changed. A single account can be stepped on, but 1 million people acting in coordination cannot be crushed all at once.